Today we're heading to Modern to see if we can cast the biggest Hydras ever. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Much Ado About Nothing. And this week, we're heading to Modern to see if we can cast the biggest Shivan Devastator and other Hydras possible in the format. So let's talk about our Unbound Hydras deck, jump into some games, see it in action. So we're built around Unbound Flourishing. That's the Unbound in our deck name. 3-mana enchantment, which is essentially Expel a Monicon. If we cast a permanent with X in its cost, we double the X. If we cast an instant sorcery activating an ability with X in its cost, we get to copy it, choose new targets, and we are doing with Unbound Flourishing exactly what its art suggests we should be doing, which is we're playing it with Hydras. So the idea of our deck is we're hopefully going to play an Unbound Flourishing, or maybe two, that's when it gets really crazy, and then cast a Shivan Devastator, a Mistcutter Hydra, Apocalypse Hydra, Voracious Hydra, Savageborn Hydra, and just make these cards huge. Like Shivan Devastator on turn 4 normally is going to be a 3/3 flying haste, which not that exciting in Modern. On the other hand, if we start with the Unbound Flourishing, that Shivan Devastator for 4 mana is going to be a 6/6 flying haste, which is actually really good. And the same is true of all of our Hydras. They just get so big with Unbound Flourishing on the battlefield. We also got a few spells to work with the other side of Unbound Flourishing. We can double up a Banefire, a Primal Might for fighting and pumping, Shatter Skull Smashing for removal. Now we got a bunch of ramp to just speed into our Hydras since they're pretty expensive. Season Pyromancer to churn through our deck. Blood Moon to just jank people out of the game. We can play it on turn 2 thanks to our turn 1 ramp. Mana base, pretty typical Blood Moon Gruul style stuff. A bunch of fetches to get forest so we can Blood Moon without wrecking ourselves. In the sideboard, a bunch of graveyard hate, life gain, some sweepers, some artifact hate, chokes for the blue decks, Voidmere to deal with Cascade, and that is Unbound Hydras for Modern. That's our Much Ado deck for this week. So let's see if it can work. How big of a Shivan Devastator can we make with the help of Unbound Flourishing? Let's find out. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap up. Today's video is brought to you by our awesome sponsor, Card Kingdom. You can get all the Dominaria United cards you need and help support the show over at cardkingdom.com/MTG Goldfish. All right, Much Ado About Nothing time. We are playing some Modern Hydra Stompy? Hydra Tribal? I don't even know. We're playing Hydras in Unbound Flourishing in Modern. Seeing if some of our new Hydras are actually good. This is the Shivan Devastator deck. If there was ever a deck to make Shivan Devastator devastating, oh boy, we need to draw Blood Moon. Well, there's a Devastator. All right, Utopia Sprawl on green. Is there a way we can just win with this Devastator before our opponent combos us? So Unbound Flourishing into Unbound Flourishing. All right, opponent double search, passes. Now play the land, untapped. Unbound Flourishing, go. So right now these will be what, 6/6s? How big? Okay, we got to think about this. So we play this Unbound Flourishing. We cast this X 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, opponent gets a stomping ground. I mean, I guess the question is, do we get Valacated before we can go up? We might regret playing this land untapped. It might have been better just to play the Crucible. You're kind of incentivized to hold it in case you want to make tokens with it, but all right, there's the Dryad. There's a mountain. Well, next turn could be the death. We draw a land. Well, I mean, play this. Unbound Flourishing. If we're alive, I think can we win? How big will this Devastator be? That's the question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it'd be X4, 4, 8, 16. I mean, I think if we're alive, we can one-shot with the Shivan Devastator. We'll see. Wish. Valakut. Burns us. Hits us. Okay, does this work the way we think? Does the X double twice? That's the question. With 2 Unbound Flourishings, is it... So we can cast to X4. The question is, does it go 4 + 4 + 4? Or does it go 4 + 4 for 8, and then 8 + 8 for 16? We're gonna find out. Shivan Devastator. Double it. Double it. That's a 16/16. That's a 16/16 flying. Oh! What happened? Is it bugged? It's bugged! Oh! It was... No! Oh my god. Gee. Wait, is this whole deck just bugged? Unbound Flourishing doesn't work? Oh, well, back to the drawing board, I guess. We saw the counters. We saw the counters add up. Like we did see that, right? we're not going crazy. That actually, it was 16-16 on the stack. And yeah, that is game now. Yeah, okay. Well, apparently Unbound Flourishing is bugged. Oh, that was so sweet. I guess we'll try it one more time. That it should work though, right? Like that, I'm not missing something. Like that should do what we want it to do. Enters with X counters, double the X. I mean, that's gotta work. Well, Forest and Arbor Elf go. Huh, well. Back to the drawing board, I guess. Oh, this was such a cool idea, too. Well, play the land, hit you for 1. Pass the turn. Oh, it was working! That's the saddest part, is we actually did it. But Moto did not let it happen. Aww. Oh, what if fails for our opponent passes? I'll crack this. Grab a Stomping Grounds. Tapped. Untap. Windswept Heath, get a Forest. Tap, untap, tap, 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 play Chandra, tick it up, hit you for 2, pass the turn. Opponent. I would like to draw one of the other ones and see if it's like specifically bugged with Shivan Devastator, or if it's, maybe we gotta test the deck in solo mode and see if it actually is not working. Opponent. Well, the Chandra keeps our opponent from just playing Dryad, or keeps the Dryad from living at least. And if we don't need to take down Chandra, we can take it up and just play a pretty big, but not as big as we were hoping, Devastator. Opponent. Tap land. And passes. Well, Wooded Foothills. Crack Wooded Foothills. Get a Forest. Tap, untap. Pick up for mana. Shivan Devastator. I mean, it's a 6/6 flying haste. That's not the worst. Go to combat, hit you for 6. Pass the turn. About it. All right, there's the Dryad. Dwarven Mine. I mean, this Hydra Bolt should just be lethal, right? About it, passes. Well, there's Unbound Flourishing. Well, go to combat, hit you with the Hydra. I mean, maybe even without Unbound Flourishing, it's still not the worst. I guess we could switch it for Doubling Season, but Doubling Season's 5 mana. And then just bolt ya? Well, I mean, that went fine. That did go fine. No Blood Moon either. All right, well, run it back. Oh. Do we keep this? Utopia Sprawl. Yeah, I guess we keep it. Opponent Stomping Grounds, untapped, and search for tomorrow. Well, go Mistcutters. What if else crack it? Forest, Utopia Sprawl, green, pass the turn. Opponent's got the ramp this time, so he might not be fast enough, especially on the draw. Wooded Foothills, opponent passes. Oh, well. That is helpful, but we might have to wait. Yeah, Wooded Foothills, get a Stomping Grounds, and run out a sad little Mistcutter Hydra. Go 2/2. I mean, 2/2 haste on 2. That's constructed staple, right? Boom, take it. Take that too. So all right, opponent has the bolt. So the way this works is, if Blood Moon comes down after Dryad, it stops the Dryad's ability. If it comes down before Dryad, it's the opposite. So we'd really prefer, especially with our opponent having all these basics, we'd really prefer Blood Moon to come down post-Dryad. So Kurtribe Elder, and the Stomping Grounds tapped. Well, on the other hand, if our opponent doesn't have a Dryad, I guess we just play the Blood Moon. And Shatter Skull is a land past the turn. I mean, opponent can still, while they didn't sack it, opponent can still get the mana for Primeval Titan, although it is just a 6/6 as long as Blood Moon is keeping us safe. Opponent hits us to 15. Little light on ramp this game. Well, let's play a Mistcutter Hydra. X3 this time. Still not big enough to dodge a bolt, unfortunately. All right, opponent down to 14. Surprised they're not cracking this Kurtribe Elder to get a Forest to play a Primeval Titan, but maybe they don't have the Primeval Titan. That's also possible. Opponent passes. Well, there's an Unbound Flourishing. Run it out, although we'll see if it even works. At least this will let us test it and see. Opponent, block, sacks. All right, here comes the Forest. Yeah. Oh, gets a mountain? Do they only have one basic Forest in their deck or something? I'm so confused. Wooded Foothills. Well, this Blood Moon has been way better than I expected. Significantly better than expected. Well, go to combat, hit ya. I think we actually run out this Season Pyromancer to try to hit a land. Yeah, run out Season Pyromancer. Discard a Hydra. Discard a Blood Moon. Play the Arbor Elf. Well, we didn't hit a land, but we did hit an Arbor Elf. Pass the turn. All right, opponent. Can you kill us? I think we can lethal Banefire if this Arbor Elf lives. Assuming Unbound Flourishing works with Banefire, which TBD. TBD about it. Wow, another mountain. And passes. Well, the time has come. Tap on tap. Tap all of our mana. Banefire. All right, let's see. Let's see if Unbound Flourishing works this time. It triggers. Scoops it up. Okay. I mean, well, I don't know what to do now. So you heard me say, I don't know what we're going to do. And honestly, I really didn't know what we were going to do. On one hand, our deck was sweet and it was doing cool things. On the other hand, the main synergy of our deck, it was bugged. Unbound Flourishing with our Hydras just wasn't working, and not working in a really weird way because it was like working on the stack. If you go back to that turn, we had double Unbound Flourishing. We cast Shivan Devastator X4 on the stack. It did exactly what it should have done. It went from 4 to 8, 8 to 16. We could see the 16/16 lethal Xaxes threat on the stack, but then when it hit the battlefield, it all went away and went back to being a 4/4, like none of that had ever happened. So our synergy was clearly bugged. And remember, this is a key part of the deck. Like, this is what we're built around, Unbound Flourishing with Hydras. So it's not like we're losing some random removal spell or sideboard card or support piece that we can just replace. This is what the deck's about. So I really want to make this deck work because I think the deck's really cool. So I did some testing in solo matches, hoping that maybe it was like a fluke or maybe Shivan Devastator was a bug card, but it turned out all of our Hydras did the same exact thing with Unbound Flourishing, so that was definitely bugged. And then I researched the bug a little bit online and found out something a little bit scary and disappointing, which is this bug's been around for a while. The first report I saw of it was June or July of 2021, so 16 months ago, way more than a year ago now, and a bunch of people, 10, 15 or more people, have reported this bug, and it still hasn't gotten fixed in over a year, which what that tells me is this is not a high priority bug for Wizards to fix. So if we want to play Hydras in Modern, we're going to have to figure out a way to do it without Unbound Flourishing, because seriously, it could be 5 years, 10 years, and this bug still might not get fixed. There are definitely cases of these low priority bugs that Wizards just never gets to, where it takes years and years and decades to actually get to. So either we just cross Hydras off the list, or we find a way to make the deck work without Unbound Flourishing. The good news is, even though there's no card that can exactly replace Unbound Flourishing in our deck, because nothing does the same thing, there's no other Panharmonicon for X spells, there's one card that is pretty powerful and comes pretty close, and that is Doubling Season. So Doubling Season with our X-Spell Hydras, it works exactly the same essentially as Unbound Flourishing. If we cast a Shivan Devastator X4 with Unbound Flourishing out, it's going to double X, it's going to be an 8/8 instead of a 4/4. If we do it with a Doubling Season out, Doubling Season is going to double the counter, so instead of a 4/4, it's going to be an 8/8. It's exactly the same. No difference other than, unfortunately, Doubling Season, 5 mana to get going rather than 3. The downside is that with Doubling Season, we can't really play the X spells. Like the gimmick of playing Banefires and Earthquakes in the sideboard, that was so we could double them with Unbound Flourishing. Doubling Season's not going to do that. It doesn't do anything with X spells. But Doubling Season does have some upsides, which is it doubles up any counters and it doubles up tokens, so we can replace those X spells with more Chandras. And if we can get a Doubling Season, we can play a Chandra, double up its loyalty, ultimate it the turn it comes into play. We can also play a bunch of Fable the Mirror Breakers, which are kind of bonkers in this deck with Doubling Season. Fable the Mirror Breaker will make 2 goblins, and each of those will make 2 treasures when they attack, which is a ton of mana to put in our Hydras. And then with Doubling Season, the Hydras are twice as big, and we smash our opponent with the Shivan Devastators. So I think that's the plan for today. Since we can't play Unbound Flourishing, we're going to shift gears and play Doubling Season Hydras, which really, it's very similar to the last deck with, you know, this small twist. We're more focused on tokens instead of X spells, but the Hydras are the same. We're doubling up the same. So let's jump into some games and see if we can overcome the Moto bug. When Moto gives you bugs, make lemonade, I guess. So let's see if Doubling Season Hydras can work in Modern. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap up. Much brew about nothing time. Seeing if Hydras can work with Doubling Season, since apparently Unbound Flourishing is not only bugged, but is bugged in a way that will never be fixed. I did a little research after finding out about the bug, and apparently it's been bugged since like for more than a year now, and they just haven't fixed it. Temple Garden for our opponent, untapped, and Armor Elf. Well, Windswept Teeth, grab a Stomping Grounds, tapped. Verdant Catacombs, go. I mean, we gotta hope this Blood Moon does some work. Opponent, Utopia Sprawl. Well, let's see what the follow-up is. In theory, this Blood Moon absolutely just wrecks our opponent here. Opponent, passing. Well, crack this, get a Forest. Windswept Teeth, crack it. Get a Forest. And Blood Moon you. And opponent. Well, no Hydras necessary. None needed. All right, that was good. That was good. So our opponent's paying a 4-color pile, 5-color pile. Should we bring in Choke? Is Choke good enough? Clothis, maybe? I mean, maybe we just run it back and hope that we go over the top of them? Run a foul, Collector of Ooze, Baloth. I assume it's just like a pile of elementals. That seems like the most likely thing. Yeah, let's go up a Clothis, go down Apocalypse Hydra, run it like that. Well, Blood Moon, still good sometimes. Sometimes it's still good. Yeah, we'll keep this. Opponent, Misty Rainforest passes. Well, Verdant Catacombs, crack Verdant Catacombs. Grab a Forest and Utopia Sprawl. Oh, are they countering this? If they counter this, that would be bad. We are very light on mana. All right, gets a Triome. Utopia Sprawl on, I guess, just red. All right, pass the turn. Windswept Teeth for our opponent, cracks it. Snow-covered plains, and Leyline Binding the Utopia Sprawl. All right. Well, now we need to draw some manas. Yeah, I guess we just pass. Oh, Leyline Binding is kind of a strong magic card, isn't it? What if Foothills opponent cracks it? Gets another basic, so playing around the Blood Moon. Gets the Yariad. Can we draw a land? No, not even close. Oh god. Alright. Well, this might be over then. That Leyline Binding to get our Utopia Sprawl is really shifting the game into our opponent's favor here. Running out Hydras in 1-1 as 1/1s does not seem great. But I guess we've reached the point where that's our only realistic option. So, Stomping Grounds. And, I mean, a 1/1 Hydra is better than discarding a Hydra to hand size. Not by much, but technically. Boom. Can you beat it? Are we really were trusting? Really? You even care about that? Okay. Gets rid of the Mistcutter Hydra. Plays a land. Passes. 80 cards and all the Leyline Bindings. Yeah, I mean, it might just be concession time here, honestly. Opponent gets another basic. Yarion. I mean, a free 4/5 flyer is still pretty good. Even if you can't blink anything for value, still pretty good. All right, going to blink for no real value. Yeah, all right, game 3. Sometimes you draw lands and sometimes you don't, and this was a don't. I do think we're gonna bring in the Choke though. Let's go Choke over Clothis. Ah, the Leyline Binding. That card is annoying. That gets to get rid of all of our good stuff, including the Doubling Season, probably for 1 mana. I mean, we are in the play for game number 3. 2 lands, a million Mistcutter Hydras. I think that's a mulligan. All right, we will keep. Probably just Mistcutter to the bottom for now. So Stomping Grounds, untapped. Arbor Elf, go. We are gonna need a finisher. Opponent, Snow-covered Forest. Arbor Elf of their own. I'll play Boseiju. Utopia Sprawl. On Reen, tap, untap, tap. Fable the Mirror Breaker. Arbor Elf. I don't know if we can afford to play the Blood Moon here. Like, the Blood Moon gives us no green mana and knocks the Utopia Sprawl off. If our opponent gets another basic, then... Ooh, Triome. Untaps it. Alright, what busted thing do we got? Red. Okay, so that can ping down an Arbor Elf. But then it dies. Yeah, let's discard them both. I don't know if this is correct, but we're gonna do it. Oh my goodness. Wow, that is the worst running. Well, go to combat. Kill the red and hit our opponent. Get a treasure. Oh, into double land. Well, now I wish we had kept the Blood Moon. Opponent. Oh, the Nissa gonna go digging. Looking for lands, I assume. All right, can we draw 8 finisher? We needs a Hydra. We needs a Hydra. Seasoned Pyromancer would also be good, or another Fable the Mirror Breaker. More 3-drops that cycle. Chandra would be fine. Doubling Season could set us up for the future. Renegade Rallier for our opponent. Untaps a land, and even more Wrens. Golly gee. Gonna get back the land. Yeah, that is an issue. I'll crack this, get a forest. The opponent could be set up to combo kill next turn, plays the tap land. Come on, deck. All right, Seasoned Pyromancer is something. So we flip the Saga. Stomping Grounds untapped. Play Seasoned Pyromancer to draw a couple of cards. How do we do this? So Blood Moon shuts down the Wren. All right, let's untap Blood Moon. Bolt the Arbor Elf. Hit the Wren. Pass the turn. In theory, the Blood Moon keeps our opponent from doing Wren stuff anyway, because they can't get lands in the graveyard. All right, ticks down. Utopia Sprawl. We'd love to be able to copy this Seasoned Pyromancer. That would be the best. All right, more mountains, and gets a Yarion. Okay, well, we get to clone the Seasoned Pyromancer, which is huge. Play the Stomping Grounds. Reflection Seasoned Pyromancer. Draw some cards. They are not good cards. Go to combat, hit the Wren, hit our opponent. Make even more treasures. Utopia Sprawl on green. Oh, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Hydra, Hydra, Hydra. Geeky jeeky. All right, opponent setting up for the future. Getting and hitting us. We draw a Bolt, which is good. So Bolt Kiki. And opponent scoops it up. Oh, okay. Well, there might have been more Blood Moons than Hydras this game, but we'll take it. We'll take it. Beat the 5-color pile, overcoming the Moto bugs. Sweet, sweet. Much ado about nothing time. We are, ooh, that's a doubling season and a bunch of ramp. All right, we'll keep this. We will keep this. We're playing some doubling season Hydras since apparently Unbound Flourishing is bugged forever. You gotta adapt. You gotta adapt on Moto. Arbor Elf, go. This is a hand where if we draw Utopia Sprawl, oh my god, this hand is amazing. Dwarven Mine. Play Arbor Elf. Play Windswept Heath. Hit you for 1. Opponent untaps. Ooh, it hit Foothills, cracks it. Better not be Fire Ice. Stomping Grounds, untapped. Wren and 6. Gonna get back a land. All right, crack this. Stomping Grounds untapped. Bolt the Wren. I think we gotta play Chandra first. Tap untap. Play Chandra. I think we gotta kill the Wren, unfortunately. Kill the Wren. Pick up Chandra. Hit you for 2. Pass the turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Opponent. All right, there's the fire to kill our dorks. Well, can we overcome the inevitable creativitying? That be the question. You know, that's what this is leading towards. We'd actually love to find a Hydra. A Hydra would be great. We can Chandra ramp into doubling season, and then if we hit a Hydra, it's a lot of damage. All right, what if fails? Opponent passes. Lightning Bolt. Well, tick up for mana. Doubling season, go. Opponent grabs a Triome. Are we dead? Leyline Binding. Hits the Chandra. Well, that's also bad. Tap land. Well, if we had the Chandra, it would be so good, but Shivan Devastator. So doubling season works, at least. Hit you for 4. Oh, if we had Chandra, it would have been enough to win, I think. As it is, we still are too slow if they get 2 combo. Fable the Mirror Breaker. Come on, deck, give us something. Give us something. Cavern. I guess Shaman. Seasoned Pyromancer. Uncounterably. Discard the Bolt, draw 2. Make a couple tokens. Hit you with the Devastator. All right, this is it. Down to 5. Opponent untaps. Bolts the Seasoned Pyromancer. Loots. Are we dead to an Archon is the question. I feel like yes. Opponent. I mean, we're definitely dead to a pile of Archons. Yeah, all right, take it. Are we dead? What did Foothills? Oh, they found it. Oh, they found it. Yeah, all right, so... Oh, Blood Crypt down to 2. That might change things. Wow, if we had a red source. Fires. Persists. Wow, so they're playing Reanimator? Oh, and they go to 5. So close. Well, now we draw the Blood Moon, but it's too late. Too late to matter. So play the Blood Moon. Opponent Leyline Bindings in response. Yeah. Oh, that was so close. Boy, Leyline Binding is everywhere in Modern, isn't it? Opponent playing Indomitable Creativity. Also reanimating. Basically just, can we cheat the biggest MH2 card into play? Dot deck. I mean, we can bring in a Run of Foul. Blood Moon actually does seem good if we can get it down, although Leyline Binding can answer it. Go down Voracious Hydra, go down Apocalypse Hydra, bring in a Scavenging Ooze, and I guess that's it. Oh, that was so close. I mean, that was kind of a game where you can see a bit of the downside of Doubling Season. You got to see some of the upside of it too, compared to Unbound and Flourishing. It's just 5 mana is a lot. 5 mana is a lot. I mean, it has to be 5 mana because it would be broken if it wasn't, but it's still a lot. Arbor Elf, go. I mean, hopefully we can get down this Fable next turn. Opponent, tap land. Well, Stomping Grounds, untapped. Tap, untap. Fable the Mirror Breaker. Pass the turn. Blood Moon would be especially devastating if we can find it. Arid Mesa for our opponent cracks it. The question's going to be, what do we discard here? Opponent shocks themselves. Kills the token. Okay. We draw a Bolt. We don't really need that. So, all right, let's discard Mistcutter Bolt. Draw kind of the same cards. Well, play Castle Garen Brig and Fable the Mirror Breaker number 2 and hit you for 1. Wooded Foothills. Where's our Blood Moons? Where's our Blood Moons? Opponent passes. All right, so let's flip the Saga, Fable the Mirror Breaker, discard, and do we want the Mistcutter? Is Mistcutter good enough? Yeah, let's discard these two actually. All right, we draw an Arbor Elf and Utopia Sprawl. Play a Forest. Play Utopia Sprawl. Tap, untap. Tap. Yeah, let's Mistcutter X5. Go to combat. Opponent cracks. Sacred Foundry untap down to 13. More Leyline Bindings. Hits the Mistcutter Hydra. Hit you with the Goblin, make a Treasure. Play an Arbor Elf, and I guess hope we draw into something big. Are we getting Archon? There's the Dwarven Mine. Looks like the Archon's a-coming. Opponent, Creativity into Archon. We'll sack the Goblin Shaman. All right, we draw a Cavern of Souls, which is not helpful. Well, we'll play it on Hydra. Well, this is a big turn. I expect this goes wrong. Like, if we get to make it to our end step, we can kind of go infinite, but our opponent just, I mean, they got the turn 4 Archon. Yep, down to 5. Ren. Going to kill the elf. Well, okay. Yeah, not infinite enough. Ooh, what a hand, what a hand. Much brew about nothing time. We are playing some Hydras in Modern. Now with Doubling Season because Moto. Not a fan of Unbound Flourishing apparently. Today we learned. Well, all right. I mean, we got a bit of ramp. We got a removal spell. We got a Hydra. Not Devastator, but no Doubling Season. That sounds fine-ish. Opponent, Cavern on what? Elf. All right. Elvish Mystic. Well, Wooded Foothills, crack Wooded Foothills. I think we let the Mystic live and try to kill something even more impactful. So Stomping Grounds, untapped. Arbor Elf, go. Gruul Elves, eh? Elvish Warmaster. And Quirion Ranger. Opponent passes. Well, play the land. What ways do we have of overcoming elves? Well, play... Yeah, I think we just play Arbor Elf and pass. We're going to have to bolt something. I think the plan is bolt something and then Chandra something. Opponent. Leaf Crown Visionary. So that's something that we got to kill. Yeah, bolt that. Opponent gets an elf. Still unclear if this is enough. Gonna do some Ranger shenanigans. All right, taps, untaps, picks up, replays Stomping Grounds, untap down to 16, and another Visionary. Well, yeah, that's a card you want to draw lots of, that's for sure. And I think we're dead now. Opponent gets in for 9. Yeah, that's, I mean, we can play Chandra and kill the Visionary, but, well, I mean, that's just elves doing elves things on the play there. Good elf hand, good elf hand. Engineered explosives in. Anger the gods in, but really we don't have a ton. I don't even know what else we can bring in. The Blood Moons feel bad. We want to cut those. I mean, I guess a Clothis maybe, just to be a, because it does more than Blood Moon. At least Clothis does something. Blood Moon I feel like does just literally nothing. Most of the time it's gonna do literally nothing. All right, we get to play first, which hopefully we have some removal. All right, this is fine. This is fine. We got a Bolt, we got an Arbor Elf, we got a Fable the Mirror Breaker. I don't know if I'd say this was a great hand, but it's functional. Arbor Elf go. If we can get down a big Apocalypse Hydra, that could be bad for elves. That could do some sniping. We actually got the Hydra. Can we find a doubling season to go with it? Vern Catacombs for our opponent. Cracks it. And Elvish Mystic. Well, unfortunately, I think we got to play the Fable the Mirror Breaker here. Actually, do we? Let's go Stomping Grounds untapped. So we can run out Fable, this lives. We could also just kill the Mystic and play another Arbor Elf. And then next turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can't quite turn on the Apocalypse Hydra. Yeah, I think we're gonna get down the Fable the Mirror Breaker. Making treasure tokens would be nice. That is something that we are actively rooting for at this point. Because our big game plan is to get this Apocalypse Hydra down with with at least 7 mana. We'd like to double the counters if we could. Boo Seiju. War Master. Heritage Druid. Oh boy. So opponent gets 3 more mana. Yeah, that's bad. That's real bad. Leaf Crown Visionary. And an Elvish Mystic. Well, that was quite the turn for the opponent. How about an Anger of the Gods? We would accept Anger of the Gods here. Doubling Season. Oh, that's the card that this is all about, but I think we got to discard it. I think we got to find a sweeper. We're just going to die. So discard Arbor Elf, discard Doubling Season, unfortunately. Mistcutter Hydra. Well, play Castle Garenbrig. Go to combat, get in with a Goblin. The opponent blocks. Well, we will Bolt the Lord. Untap. Play a very sad Mistcutter Hydra. Pass the turn. So opponent untaps. The only good news is there's only 3 cards in hand. They got all the mana they could possibly want, thanks to Heritage Druid. But we got rid of the Leaf Crown Visionary, so the card draw engine is offline at least. 2 cards in hand. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, I think we get to play the huge Apocalypse Hydra next turn. That's our goal. That's our hope. And that will keep us alive. If our opponent can go off with card draw, things are bad. We basically need 2 turns, I think. We need 1 turn to play a huge Apocalypse Hydra, and then another turn to shoot down our opponent's board. Opponent combat. They could be Cocoing. Passes. Well, we get a Utopia Sprawl. So play Cavern on Hydra. Play Utopia Sprawl on red. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Tap, untap. Tap. I mean, I guess we should add... who knows? Maybe they got a sneaky counter. All right, well, all of our mana into Apocalypse Hydra. It's going to be pretty big. Even without the doubling season, it's a 12-12. And now we pass the turn. All right, opponent. Oh, no Coco. Okay, I think this Apocalypse Hydra might get it done. Apocalypse Hydra ability, 1 red, remove a counter, ping something, which means these elves should be a-dying. This is it, opponent. If you're gonna have a big turn, this is your chance, because we have the jankiest wrath in history of Magic. Cavern. Elf? Called it. Psychic powers. And opponent doesn't even want to experience the apocalypse. They're just done. Just done. Well, I'm kind of surprised that worked, but it did. It did. We drew the Bolt. We drew a Hydra, and that was enough. Yeah, run it back. This still seems like I mean, I think the matchup really depends on if we hit removal early. If we can hit like our Anger of the Gods or something, that can probably just beat the deck. This is gonna be tough though with our opponent on the play. We saw that in game 1, like Mana Dork into Thing, like elves can just snowball so quick. All right, on the draw, let's get something good. Ugh. Well, we can't keep this. So there's all the late game stuff, but no ability to cast it. Well, we'll put Beseiju to the bottom. It's gonna be interesting. If we were on the play, this hand would look amazing. On the draw, we'll see Cavern, still elves, Cavern and Elf, and Mana Dork. Llanowar Elves. And we draw an Anger of the Gods. The one of, fun of, sideboard all-star. The elves need to experience a little bit of the Magic God's anger here. Arbor Elf. I mean, this is a great hand. I'm just so worried about how elves can go off. Cavern on Elf. And how bad is it? Elvish Archdruid. Well, this is a bummer because we're going to lose our Chandra, but it's necessary. So we play a Forest. We play Utopia Sprawl on red. I mean, I think we have to kill the Archdruid. Tap, untap. But that does let our opponent just attack with the Llanowar and kill the Chandra. But all right, get rid of the Archdruid. Pass the turn. Come on, Seasoned Pyromancer. Find us something good, please. I mean, I guess having to attack with the Llanowar does mean they can't use it for mana, so that's a very small victory. Oh, they're not going to kill the Chandra. Another Archdruid. Okay. Opponent passes. Doubling Season. Well, once again, that's probably getting discarded. We really got to kill this Archdruid. How do we do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Well, play Stomping Grounds, untapped. Tap, untap. Take up Chandra for a card. Play the Arbor Elf. Seasoned Pyromancer. Ugh, okay. Opponent's gonna get to untap with the Archdruid. I think this is bad. Are we dead? Yeah, I mean, elves untapping with Archdruid usually means they win. We did a bunch of digging to try to find removal, but we just did not get there. The opponent, gonna cast an elf. Well, we'll see. I mean, down to 3 cards in hand again. We'll see what those cards are. Opponent, all the mana. This taps for 5. Realm Walker. Okay, more card advantage. The Anger of the Gods would be sweet. And Quirion Ranger. This taps for 5 again. Oh, they don't have a forest. Okay. All right, deck. This is the turn to give us something good. All right. Random token production, eh? Take up Chandra for a card. It's a land. Hit you for 2. Play the land. Gotta hit removal or we're dead. Seasoned Pyromancer. Oh, Devastator. Not good enough. Yeah, this means we're dead. Well, I mean, we get to make a 5/5 flyer. That's a little something. A little late to the party, but hit you for 5. But now our opponent just gets to go off. Well, we did what we could. Unfortunately, we managed to see 16 cards in our deck and could not find a removal spell for this Archdruid. So now our opponent just gets to overrun and we lose. We'll make them do it. Maybe they don't see the line. All they got to do is tap Archdruid and activate War Master. Tap for 7, activate, pump, +2/+2, and that's the game. Kind of a little disappointed, because all we had to do was draw a removal spell for this Archdruid, and we're in actually like really good shape, but we just could not for the life of us find a bolt, find an Anger of the Gods. Runs out an elf off the top of the deck. Another elf off the top of the deck. Yeah, this Realm Walker's going off. Although maybe our opponent's not going to be able to kill us here. They're tapping potential attackers, which might mean we can just chump block our way through this to not die. This gives Death Touch, but not Trample. So I think we can chump block. And then maybe we hit another like Shivan Devastator or something, or removal spell. All right, opponent, 12 mana. Yeah, Archdruid is pretty good. Pretty good when it lives. Plays another one from hand. Activates War Master. We do live though. Opponent. Everything at our face. They have 2 War Masters, so killing that doesn't really do anything. I mean, we're dead next turn no matter what, right? So either win or... Is there any way we survive another turn? We could use Chandra for removal. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 16... Yeah, block and block. I mean, I think either we find a way to win this turn or we lose. It all comes down to this. So we drop to 8. Anger of the Gods, 1 time. Doubling Season. Would have been good last turn. If we kill this, we still die. Doubling Season doesn't do anything here. I guess it's all in this Chandra activation. Take it up. Come on, Chandra. Mistcutter. Oh, that's the wrong Hydra. Yeah, all right, dead. Oh, if it was Shivan Devastator. If it was Shivan Devastator, it would have worked. It would have worked. Much brew about nothing time. Doing some more Hydra-ing in Modern. Yeah, let's just play that tapped. So no Hydras, but we got the Blood Moon, which is good. Blood Moon gives us red mana for season. Come on now. Esper Sentinel. Maybe Blood Moon won't be that good. Forest go. I mean, Blood Moon might still do something. It might shut down, fetch lands. All right, I don't know what our opponent's doing then. Better not be a mountain. Sacred Foundry, untapped. And Stoneforge Mystic. Well, let's see what our opponent tutors up here. Is this like Boros Hammer time? Well, now he might have to wait a turn to Blood Moon. Hydra complete. Goes attacking. Well, yeah, let's just kill the Stoneforge, pay the 1. If we draw a red source, we can just run out Seasoned Pyromancer. If not, we might still Blood Moon. Okay, well, Arbor Elf. This makes it easy. Play the Arbor Elf, play Castle Garen, break past the turn. So now we can bolt something. Next turn, we can Pyromancer or Blood Moon. Well, that makes the Blood Moon more appealing. Opponent. Fervent Champion. And, oh my god, even more Stoneforges. Okay. Well, this is frightening. We could be dying. Opponent, Sword of Fire and Ice. Gets in. Well, we still have to kill the Stoneforge. We take the 1. Oh, that Sword of Fire and Ice is a problem, though. Oh, alright, that makes it less of a problem. Tap, untap. Oh, doubling season first would be so nice. Tap, tap, tap. Voracious Hydra X2. So we can kill the Fervent Champion. Pass the turn. Opponent, Urza Saga. Bolt. Goes to combat, gonna hit us, sure. Down to 17. Another Sentinel. Land, maybe? Alright, so we draw the land, play it untapped. Tap, tap, untap. Blood Moon. Pay the 1, pay the 1. So this gets rid of the Urza Saga, keeps our opponent from tutoring something up. Opponent, more bolts, sure. Well, now we're probably just gonna have to Season Pyromancer, I guess. Opponent hits us, down to 13. Boseiju. Play Boseiju. Actually, we kind of want to hold that. Oh, what do we do here? So it's actually tricky. That is a way we can kill the sword. But if we Pyromancer, we're going to discard it. Yeah, all right. Play Boseiju. Season Pyromancer. Discard. Mist Cutter Hydra. Unfortunately, we just discarded our doubling season. Opponent. Although Mist Cutter Hydra, probably big enough to block at least. Ooh, all right. Well, beatdown time. Hydras have arrived. It's a 5/5. Go to combat. Attack with everything. Who's the aggro now? Hopefully our opponent doesn't have like March of Otherworldly Light or something. Opponent. Down to 9. Hydra beats. Hydra beats. Scoops it up. Okay, that was good. That was good. Well, we didn't get to do our doubling season stuff, but was still good enough to win. Do we even want... Collector Roof seems good. Do we even want the Blood Moons? Maybe we cut the Blood Moons. Shutting down Urza Saga is something. I don't know if that's enough of something. Voracious Hydra is actually good that game. Maybe we go down like a Chandra. Maybe... I really want to do the doubling season thing. We've seen repeatedly that the expensiveness of doubling season makes it hard to get on the battlefield. Those are 2 Hydras. No ramp is sketchy, but we'll keep it. We'll keep it. Sacred Foundry for our opponent tapped. And Fervent Champion. That is scary just because it can equip things for free often. What did Foothills go? I feel like this Boseiju could end up being important. So we know our opponent's playing a bunch of bolts. So we need to be wary of getting bolted. Opponent hits us down to 18. And land. Please not a Stoneforge. We don't have an answer to a Stoneforge here. Temple Garden untapped. Sanctifier, okay. I mean, that's also annoying. Yep. Protection from much of our team. Well, play the Forest past the turn. Ancient Grudge can deal with an equipment, although it is a one-shot because of Sanctifier. Opponent, Urza Saga, goes to combat. Gets and hits us. Oh, we were kind of getting beaten down. Down to 14. Oh, dear me. And a Stoneforge. Oh, this is going super horribly. Stoneforge. We do not have a way to beat a Cauldron Complete here. Sword of Body and Mind. Oh, okay. Well, sure, you got us. So we're gonna get the sword on a protection thing. Yeah, okay, untap. Ugh, the very late Arbor Elf. This is bad in a lot of ways. All right, Windswept Teeth. Arbor Elf. Yeah, I think we're just in trouble here. Pass the turn. Leave up the Ancient Grudge. Opponent does have the Bolt. Opponent taking up the Saga. Sunbaked Canyon. Gonna put, oh, tell me you don't have, okay, Sword of Body and Mind. Going to equip it. Oh, we do have to do this the painful way. Stomping Grounds untapped. Ancient Grudge the sword. Unfortunately gets exiled because of Sanctifier. Well, we're not getting hit by a sword, but we are down to 8. And this thing still has protection, and there's still an Urza Saga. Down to 10. Maybe Blood Moon's better than we thought. I'll play the land. Chandra, but then it dies. I'll play Chandra. Kill the Stoneforge. Pass the turn. Yeah, this is just like the slowest, fairest start for our deck. Opponent. Gonna float a mana. Tutors up. What 1 mana artifact could they be tutoring up? Spring Leaf Drum. Okay. Well, that could have been scary. Another Stoneforge. It never ends. And then they can put a sword into play and equip because of Fervent Champion. Yeah, good enough. All right. Well, we're on the play for game 3, which is good. Maybe the Blood Moon is, maybe some number of Blood Moons are all right. The first game it looked like they wouldn't be, but this game they do. All right, we're gonna go out one doubling season. I know. We just gotta get off to a faster start. We really want a ramp spell. Very important to our deck. We want a ramp spell into the 3-drops, into the Hydras. Maybe with a doubling season even. Oh, that Moto bug is so sad. I mean, I guess we could just play it with Unbound Flourishing and hope that our opponents do the nice thing and scoop to the bug. Too slow. I mean, we're gonna keep this, although 1 land makes me very, very scared. Like, if this Arbor Elf dies, we die too. Pretty much. Sunbaked Canyon and Lightning Bolt. All right, deck, show us a land. All right, we draw a land at least. Wooded Foothills, Crackit, Forest, Collector Roof, go. Opponent untaps, Windswept Teeth, cracks it. Unfortunately, this doesn't stop Cauldron Complete off of Stoneforge. Sacred Foundry. Ingenious Smith gets a sword. Well, I mean, play Utopia Sprawl on red. Get in for 1, or 2 rather. We're 2 mana away from the doubling season, and that could make the Mistcutter big. All right. Patchwork Automation, grows the Smith. All right, so we just want lands, basically. We just want to keep drawing lands. Opponent passes. Well, Season Pyromancer. Are we discarding doubling season again? You know what? Let's go Mistcutter and Ancient Grudge. Oh, we didn't draw a land, though. No attacks. All right. I mean, Utopia Sprawl is like a very slow land, and we do have the Devastator. Clifftop Retreat. Another Smith. And another Smith. Well, thankfully, our opponent has a handful of swords that don't do anything at the moment, which makes our life a little better. Opponent passes. Now, there's the land. Utopia Sprawl. Pass the turn. So we can doubling season next turn. A little slower than we wanted to, but we can do it. All right. Another automation. Grows the Dorks. Yeah, these Smiths are getting big. So opponent's got 2 swords and 2 unknowns in hand. Passes. Ancient Grudge one of these. Pay the 2. Untap. Doubling season. Pass the turn. We've been like 1 land off pretty much all game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is at 8-8. Sacks a land to draw a card. If our opponent can kill the Collector Roof, it gets a bit scary. If we could get down this Arbor Elf, this Devastator, I think would just be lethal. Sort of Body in Mind. Okay. Grows the Smiths. Goes to combat. Swings. Actually, let's think on this. Let's think real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is an 8-8. We swing with everything else. Our opponent blocks. 9, 10. All right, let's do it this way. Block. Kill one of the Smiths, take 4. Yeah, there was some thought that maybe we could win next turn, but that doesn't actually seem likely. Opponent, Temple Garden. tapped. We draw Arbor Elf. Playing Arbor Elf. We're going for it. We are going for it. Playing Arbor Elf. So this turn we're hoping to survive, and then next turn we can devastate our opponent literally. That's the plan. We'll see if it works. Opponent sort of fire and ice. Okay, this collect roof though is doing some work. Opponent combat. I mean, they could have some sort of instant speed removal, I guess. Attacks. We will chump. I mean, we gotta go for it. Maybe there's some argument that we should just like get the season Pyromancer back and make a bunch of tokens, but this is what we came here to do. We came here to doubling season Hydras, and we actually have a chance to do it. Permanent champion. Well, I mean, here goes nothing. Tap, untap. Tap, untap. Tap, tap, tap. Actually, do we leave up Beseiju? Does Beseiju even matter? 6, so it's 9. There'll be an 8, a 16, 16. Beseiju doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, if you got it, you got it. Actually, it does. It does kind of matter if they kill the oof. All right, whatever. Let's just make a 16, 16 flying haste. Shivan Devastator? Do you have a path or something? 16, 16? GG! GG! Oh, okay. So it can work with doubling season. I mean, that is a devastating devastator. Definitely, I feel like the deck's a little slower and clunky. It's so weird. Doubling season might be, in some ways it's more powerful, like double tokens with season Pyromancer or whatever. But overall, I think with what this deck's trying to do, it is the worst version. So all that to say, Moto, if you're listening, worth. Please fix Unbound Flourishing so we can play the original build of the deck. And do it soon. Thank you. So what did we learn this week about Hydras in Modern? Record-wise, the deck was kind of meh. I think we ended up 4-6 overall, so a slightly losing record. Although, I mean, we're playing Mistcutter Hydra and Apocalypse Hydra in Modern, so you can't expect too much when you're playing a really janky brew. I will say, after playing the deck a bunch, Doubling Season, while it can do really powerful things, I think in this deck in specific, the Hydra deck, it is a pretty big downgrade compared to Unbound Flourishing, just because it costs 2 more mana. We saw that Modern is really fast, and it makes it really hard to find a turn where you can be like, all right, I'm going to take this turn off, play a 5-mana enchantment that doesn't do anything right away to set up for next turn. Unbound Flourishing at 3 mana, that's a lot easier to do. We can turn 1 Utopia Sprawler Arbor Elf, turn 2 into our Unbound Flourishing, and then turn 3 potentially have like a hasty 6/6 Shivan Devastator or Mistcutter Hydra. So I think that 2 extra mana, even though Doubling Season I think is a more powerful card overall, certainly a more flexible card overall, but costing 2 more mana, it does make it really, really hard. There's a reason that Doubling Season, is busted as it can be when it goes well, it doesn't really see much play in Modern or any play in Modern, and that's just because 5 mana to do nothing is really, really tough to pull off without dying immediately. So I feel like Hydras have potential. We got to see this be a good Blood Moon Shell. Blood Moon, really powerful. We janked some people out with it, slowed some people down with it. So it is a perfect Blood Moon Shell. The Hydras themselves, we could really use like one more Shivan Devastator. Shivan Devastator is an all-star. We did get to see Apocalypse Hydra kind of wreck elves. Voracious Hydra is fine. Mistcutter Hydra, you really got to be against a blue deck. Being a ground creature is kind of a bummer because it just gets chumped by random tokens or Ragavans or whatever. So Mistcutter Hydra is a little bit fillery in its good matchups. If you run into like Merfolk or something, ooh, look out, Mistcutter Hydra is going to come for you and it's probably going to win the game. But if you're not playing against a deck that's primarily blue, it gets a lot worse. So we could use like one more good X-Spell Hydra. If we get something else on the level of Shivan Devastator, which I think is just the best Hydra in our deck by a pretty significant margin at this point, if we get one more Hydra like that, and then Moto actually fixes Unbound Flourishing, then who knows? I'm not saying this is going to be a top tier deck, but I think the deck could actually win a reasonable number of games with decent removal, a fast clock for finishing the game, and Blood Moon to slow the opponent down. So that is the saga of Hydras. 2 different versions, bugs and all. That's been our Much Improved for this week. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.